What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. Today is a absolute crap show. I want to go over what is prompting this pullback, what the data points are saying, and what might be coming next. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So SoFi is down 3.01%. There's roughly 15 minutes left in the trading day. 14.02 the low, 14.74 the high. So the market was already somewhat iffy. As soon as the market did open, it started to pull back. That was the market digesting Nvidia's earnings and also GDP numbers, which came in flat. But Nvidia's earnings, they did beat on their key metrics. So earnings per share and revenue, their future guidance was somewhat mixed. So already the market wasn't satisfied fully with that. And then the only word that the market does not want to hear right now that is very triggering is tariffs. So what comes out? Trump announces tariffs. So he did state that on the 4th, Canada and Mexico are going to be hit with the tariffs, which again, it's not new information. That was already just postponed 1 month. So nothing crazy for that. But one thing that is new that the market is somewhat freaking out over is this. So Trump clarifies that there will be a 10+10 tariff on China. So totaling 20, because why the hell not? If you're going to be giving out party favors, might as well 20, potentially even, why not tack 40? That's just does not make any sense whatsoever. Even the biggest Trump fans on Twitter, they're like, hey, what is going on? This is kind of out of the box. So it's really weird because even basic Econ 101, like all these tariffs don't make sense. If your country can produce the exact same as, let's say, a comparable country such as China, then yes, tariffs make sense because it does promote companies from ordering locally. But if your country does not produce what the other country does, it is going to be 10 times more costly for you to produce. And no offense to America, you do not produce, open anything. Everything is made in China. So you do not have the capability of producing anywhere remotely close to what, China definitely has a very big competitive advantage against the States in that regard. And so to throw these tariffs, that is literally going to affect its own consumers, which already are fragile, which was noted based on the FOMC minutes. And even Walmart earnings did signal all these red flags about inflation going up, how consumers are already struggling. This is going to put it over the edge. So almost guaranteed, you're going to see a lot of articles tomorrow, recession coming. Unless I'm too dumb to understand exactly the benefit of this 20% tariff. But even when I've asked some individuals hey, what, this doesn't make sense. All people's answer is, hey, you got to trust the process. What process? This, I don't know. But anyways, that's enough of me ranting. No news associated to SoFi, no SEC filings, just a massive bloodbath. Shorts, they're kind of not really doing all that much, which is rather interesting, but they are increasing 146,000 shares, so not even all that much. 12.45% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 134.21 million shares. Cost to borrow minimum is once again negative, but that's kind of the norm now for SoFi, so not really much going on for that. Moving over to options, you have 11 million in calls, 4.71 in puts. 45% of all the options being done are bullish in nature, so that's kind of a good thing, but mostly it was done in the first half of the day, so it's not really encumbering what was just announced, so it's not of course the best. But 15.9 million in total premiums so far today. 18.8 was yesterday, 35.7 the day prior, so a little bit on the low end for today. Of the call options that are being purchased, you do see consensus for it to be above 16, so a little bit of a recovery. Again, it's hard to distinguish what was done in the first half of the day versus the second half. I feel like they definitely shouldn't be combined and analyzed in that format because it's night and day difference. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub 1350 based on that. These are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So big money was not buying the dip. Very apparent based on this. You had one big transaction first thing, 5.13, but only, was it 4 buys throughout the day above $100,000. So like I said, big money was not really hyped up with NVIDIA earnings, and they're just sitting back and they're not ready to, I guess, buy the SoFi dip. Dark pool is a little bit more popular, but this is just large entities as well as shorting. And when it comes down to dark pool, it is rather difficult to distinguish what is buys and sells because it doesn't show the bid or the ask. It just shows the transaction price that it went through at. So you can kind of analyze it to a certain extent, but I think you just have to kind of look at the overall frequency and correlate that with shorts. But as far as right now with it at 1408, it is trading between this S1 and this S2. So 1389 is going to be a strong support. Flip side, $14.49 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. So right now, kind of just trading within this range. It was momentarily at the beginning part of the day above this S1, and big data is coming out tomorrow. So that could be the deciding point that does cause it to break below this S2, or give it some sort of relief rally for it to close above this S1, and that data is PCE. So that's coming out first thing at 7:30. So definitely should be some volatile times ahead. No new analyst ratings today, but on the actual chart, it is testing this right here, that 100-day moving average. So it's kind of bouncing off of that a little bit within a couple cents. So take that with a grain of salt, of course, but $14.05 is that 100-day moving average. So it's pretty much on that as we speak. So in the past, that so far has been the saving grace that did occur on February the 24th and 25th. But once again, if this is tested and broken, then this is where you could see kind of in between here. We'll have to go back over here just to give you an overview, roughly around that 1292. And as I've mentioned, that Elliott Wave Technicals is projecting for it to hit between that kind of low to high 12s. So again, that's been kind of the writing on the wall for the last little bit. So let me know your thoughts on just the broader market. Are you buying the SoFi dip, or are you like big money and you're just kind of waiting? I did buy a little bit, not today, a couple days back, but if it, like, the next time I personally would buy would be, I think, around that $12 range, in my opinion. Just the huge amount of fear in the broader market. It definitely could escalate. And I think at the same time, a lot of investors are still new and maybe got in, like, let's say 2023, 2024, and haven't actually experienced a downtrend similar to 08, or for instance, even 2020. And so for those of you like myself that have been around during that time period, how do I say this nicely? Shit hits the fan very fast. So things could really escalate. So I think big money definitely is smart to follow them, and they are not buying the dip. They are just waiting patiently. So let me know your viewpoint on SoFi. Like I said, do you think I'm wrong about just the tariffs? Is that supposed to be something greater coming from that? Or do you think that is going to really prompt a kind of push back in the broader market? FOMC minutes did state that tariffs would cause significant pressure on consumers, and thus through that as well, just in between, cause inflation to go higher. And so yeah, it's definitely an interesting scenario, that's for sure. So let me know your viewpoint. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then one final thing, pop over to my Discord, completely free. A lot of good people, a lot of good chat. Link in the description below and also comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.